Okay, let's open with questions.
Paul, when did you first hear about the situation with Dezmon?
Yesterday morning. That was the first time I heard about it. So, I came out with my statement. It's something I tell our players over and over again. We will never have any kind of violence with women. That'll not be tolerated. I stand firmly on that. And right now, I'm just going to let the legal process take its course, and I really can't say anything else. But that's where I stand on the situation.
Have you spoken with him yet about it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What has he told you about the
He
situation?
denies it. He says he has not done it. And that's, so I hope that's true. We'll just let the court, we'll let it take its course.
Do you worry about things like this being a distraction, especially when you guys are kind of hot right now?
Yeah, you do. So the biggest thing that we need to understand as a team is our most important thing we need to do right now is go get our third win in a row. And that's where we got to put all our focus, and that's where we got to, guys got to step up. Everybody's got to play better. We got to have a great week of practice, and just all our focus needs to be on one thing: getting better today in practice, and then getting better tomorrow in practice, and improving every day this week, and then flying down there and having a great trip and getting a win.
Have you addressed the other receivers maybe about stepping up in their role now?
Yes, I have. Yep. So, I think they'll do it. I think they're excited. I think they'll understand and go out there and have a great practice today and move forward and get better.
You expect to have Dave or Jacob against New Mexico State?
No. Fortunately, no. But those other guys are going to step up. They're excited. They're going to. I think Jonte's done some really good things the last couple of weeks. I think he'll step up. I think Dion had a great game last week. He'll step up. Trent will step up. Ruben's been doing some good things. And those guys just got to step up and make more plays.
Seems like you used Deion Watson maybe in the slot, so he's kind of playing that receiver role that he used to play.
Yeah, he's playing both outside and in the slot. What he kind of has to do right now is he's being an ultimate team player. He has to practice at tight end. Has to go to the tight end meetings because if something ever happened to Trent, our other tight end's now playing linebacker. So he has to know what he's doing there. But predominantly he's playing, more as a receiver right now, and that'll even pick up more this week.
Do you expect a certain receiver to really elevate, or just everyone as a group pitching?
I think they're all going to elevate. I think kind of the guys I just mentioned. I think it's just more balls that are going to go to Dion, to Trent, to Jonte, and to Ruben. I think that they'll all step up their game and make more plays.
Were you able to talk to the league office about that field goal situation at all, or address it?
Oh, I don't even want to get into that. You send in stuff every week. Stuff that, calls that you think were maybe questionable, and they send you back the answer, and I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that. So,
Do you think New Mexico State's another team that you can really run the ball well against and maybe try to give Penny 30, 40 carries again?
It's a team, it's just when you just look at their stats, they give up a lot of yards rushing. When you watch them on tape, there's times where they play the run really well. And there's some games where they played the run really well. I like their two inside linebackers. I think they both do the one guy's second in the league in tackles. But definitely it's a game where we want to, both run the ball and throw the ball. I think the biggest thing is just to us dictate when we're going to run it and throw it, and not ever become one-dimensional.
They've got a guy on the other side of the ball that can run the ball pretty well too.
Yeah,
What do you guys have to do to contain him?
He's a very good football player. He's just a sophomore. He's probably one of the better players in the league, to be honest with you. He runs the ball really well. They throw to him. He's our second lane receiver. Throw a ton of screens to him. Get him out in the flat a lot. And he was a good player last year as a freshman, so we definitely have to contain him.
How'd you come out of the last game health-wise?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Most of the guys that are injured were already injured. Nobody came out of that game, that went into that game healthy that now we won't have. So we came out of the game good.
Minimal use of Jake, I believe, maybe just one play. Will it be like that going forward, probably, with Matt back to full strength? I
don't know. I think Jake could play more in some of these other games. I think as much as anything in that game was, boy, they're a crazy defense. They bring stuff from all over the place, and it just with his limited experience as a freshman, I just didn't really want him to have to go against that, to be honest with you. Some of these teams coming up aren't quite as complex on what they do defensively, so I could see him playing more this weekend.
Putting in any extra precautions this week as you guys travel again?
Yeah, gosh. I hope it doesn't end up being like that. We've looked into it, and hopefully it's going to just be smooth sailing, and we'll just leave when we're supposed to and get there when we're supposed to.
You've been to Las Cruces before with
Yes.
this team before. I mean, does that maybe help with that kind of situation?
You know, it does, but you know, what happened last time, there's nothing we can do about that. The plane just broke down, you know, and, there's really nothing, if that happens, then it happens. Hopefully that does not happen this weekend, you know, you know, I've been there a couple times at a couple different schools, so, but, you know, we just gotta hope the plane's working, most important thing.
In terms of going on the road and, you know, expecting to win, does that help, you know, getting that first road win, that monkey off your back against Troy, does that help going into next week?
I think so. I think it just helps putting back-to-back wins and guys just coming to work, coming to practice, and feeling good about themselves and believing. You know, I think the more you believe when it gets tight or when you're down or when it's a tough situation in the game, if you're believing all the time, then you give yourself a chance to win. You know, and we were in some games early in the year where I'm not sure we 100% believed all the way we were going to win, and now I think our guys do believe that. So I think that'll really help for the rest of the year moving on.
How does Dezmon's absence switch you guys around at DB?
It'll make a couple things that we got to do a little bit different. You know, predominantly on third downs.
Do you anticipate moving anybody else over that's not already at that position?
You know, there's been some guys that we've worked already, and that just kind of be something as the week goes by that we'll make a decision on.
It looks like when Dezmon was playing DB, or when you at least got Dorian back, sat DJ a little bit. How would you kind of evaluate how DJ's coming along?
I think DJ's doing a great job. You know, I think DJ and Trotter, just their all-out effort, toughness, how hard they play, has played a huge role in us playing better. You know, and you know, those two, and then Dorian. You know, I just think they've done a great job. I'm just hopefully continue to improve on that.
Yeah, Kalen Smith, another guy playing a new spot. We've seen from him.
It's awesome. You just gotta love Kalen. I mean, the way he plays, he just loves the game. You know, he just flies around. You know, even Sunday night when it's the young guys going, he wanted to get more reps. He wanted to. He was in there the whole time because he wanted to be. He just wants to improve. He just loves football, and man, I think he's just gonna get better and better and better. He's really helped us over there.
Is that something you saw when you were recruiting him that you
No,
thought
I wish I could say that. No, it was just something that showed up on special teams. You know, he flew around on special teams and was just hitting anything that moved and just wanted to get on the field, and I didn't you know, I just thought he could help us over there sooner than he would beat out Trent or Dion, to be honest with you. But I thought how well he was playing on special teams, we needed to get him on the field somewhere, somehow, and really happy that we did that. He's doing a great job for us.
With New Mexico State struggling, do you have to tell your team not to overlook them, not to take them for granted? Or?
No, we should never overlook anybody. You know, we just need to go practice every day and continue to improve. And they're a good football team. You watch their offense scares you. They keep you up at night. You don't sleep very much at all. They've moved the ball on pretty much everybody they've played. You know, even last week they didn't score much, but they had over 400 yards against Troy. So they're a good football team. We got to make sure we're ready to play we want to play the best game we've played yet today. This weekend, hopefully, is the best game we've played.
Your defense was allowing almost 50 points per game going into the Troy game, and it has given up 29 combined in the last two. Is there something that's really clicked that you've seen maybe during practice or during a game? One thing that's clicked, or has it just been different guys kind of stepping up at different times and it's all coming together now?
I think it's a little bit of everything. You know, I think some guys have really stepped up. Last weekend, you know, was the best Caden Ellis has played. He looked like he looked all spring. You know, he just flew around. It was the best 20 he's played. You know, those two really stepped up. Where, you know, the weekend before was a couple other guys stepped up. But it's really kind of everyone coming together. I think the three corners I talked about a minute ago. I think Kalen being over there. Quentin Bradley's just been playing good all year. But you know, this last weekend, probably the two guys that stepped up the most were Caden Ellis and Twain.
Would you say that's a credit to the versatility of players and maybe your assistant coaches that you've been able to just move defensive guys, move Chris back to safety, Dez over at DB, Kendrick over to corner, Kalen to D end, and it seems seamless almost?
Yeah, I think it's a great credit to the players with their unselfishness and just wanting to do what's best for the team, and then a huge credit to the assistant coaches, you know, and just a great job of just both the players and the coaches coming together. And that's something that really has happened this year through, you know, all the distractions that we've had. Our team has really gotten closer. It's made us way tighter, and we're a very tight team right now, and we just got to keep that going.
expect to have Armand or you had Armand, but is he getting stronger?
I think he's getting stronger. I hope it looks like that this week. You know, he was just, that shoulder was really bothering him, and hopefully, basically kind of had a week of rest, so hopefully he's back 100% this week. That'd be great.
Would the plan be to move Chris Edwards back to linebacker then?
I don't really want to tell you the plan. I don't want to tell New Mexico State the plan. You know what I mean? But it gives Chris gives us a lot, because Chris can play a lot of different places, and so can Caden Ellis. It lets us be very multiple.
And do you expect Jay Sean and Jordan Grabsky to take a little longer to heal from their injuries?
Jay Sean is really, I don't know, that's just been a really hard thing. Jordan was out there running around Sunday night. So, and then not necessarily was he running around looking like he could play yet, but it was great to see him out there and great to see him running around. So I think if you just had to say the two right now, I think Jordan will be back before Jay Sean.
You mentioned guys coming in at the practice the next days after a couple wins, a little more pep in their step. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Did you see it yesterday or Sunday?
Yeah, for sure. You know, just even when we just see them walking around the building on their way to study hall and everything, they got heads up high. They got a big smile on their face. They're excited, and we just gotta have a great practice today. That's what I'm excited for.
In your experience, how have you seen that kind of pep in the step attitudes translate onto the field, the practice field at least?
Yeah, it just makes you get better, because I think in all sports, whether you're shooting a basketball, hitting a softball, playing football, the more your confidence builds, the better you play. When you really believe in yourself and you believe you're going to do things right, you just start playing better, and it kind of takes off. And I think I mentioned it earlier to you guys. I know I mentioned it to our team, but that's what App State did last year. They were 1-5, and that 5th loss was against a 1AA team, and then they won, and they haven't stopped since, to be honest with you. And they just their confidence got better and better and better, and they've just improved, and that's what we want. We want to be App State.
What have you seen from Linehan when you were able to go back and watch the film, especially from that second half he had?
Yeah, he had a couple tough plays, but he just kept battling and he kept fighting, and he did a great job. A couple of our big touchdowns, he did a great job changing protections, winning right up here, winning mentally, and that's something that he really gives you, because they were showing the pressure one way and then rolling it and bringing it another way, and then we'd check and they'd show it and bring it the other way, and that long touchdown before half, he double checked that protection, so that was huge.
Coming into the season, it looked like Epps, Unger, and Salmon were your top three, and then with those three out, how impressed have you been with the guys stepping up, the receiving corps stepping up?
I just think it's why everybody goes out and practices hard every day, and it's always you always got to be ready for the next guy to step up and make plays, and it's, the big plays that Trent and Dion made the other day were really the difference of the game. So now they're just going to get a chance to make that many more plays. So they should be excited about it.
You had a few words with Jordan Rose after his penalty in the first quarter. I'm sure you like the intensity, but do you kind of want to reel him back sometimes?
Yeah, it's kind of you never want him to lose that intensity and that fire, because that's what he's our best offensive lineman. But we just can't do silly things to get a penalty after the play's over. That's just what we got to be smart about.
Let's give Dave a chance. Dave, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Caden Ellis and the way he played, and I know you were really high on him almost the minute he got to campus. What was it about him that really stood out to you? And then also, now to see it in the game, what was that meant to you?
He just has a great feel for the game. He's a very good tackler, but he can bend and he can change directions and he can accelerate. And I just think the sky's the limit for Caden, and he really did it all spring. But he was still, what we forget sometimes is he's just a freshman, and it took him a little while to get going in the games, but boy, he played great the other day, and hopefully we can just keep that rolling from here on out.
And you mentioned the running game. That's been an emphasis. It seems like it's gotten better and better. And some of the guys mentioned without the receivers too. How big is the running game improvement meant to you, and the fact that you've won these last 2 games?
It's been real big. I think Coach Sinkovich has done an outstanding job with our offensive line. And you need to mention those guys: Steve Madlock, Mason Woods, Jordan Rose, Calvin White, and who am I missing? Did I say them all? Dallas Ember, our leader. All 5 of those guys have really been doing a great job and playing hard and improving each day. Coach Sink's done an unbelievable job with them. And then really almost put Jake Manley in there as an offensive lineman because he's, you know, he just flies around, has punish blocks all over and over, and then you know, Penny just ran awesome. You know, he made a couple runs that were, he had a couple 5 and 6 yard runs that were just like unbelievable runs. So that was great to see.
And then finally, Ed, you know, I know you've had to address Epps a couple times, and I know there's some criticism about, you know, maybe why he's even still sort of on the team, even suspended, why he hasn't been kicked off yet. What is it that why maybe he's still not been kicked off even?
Well, you know, he's suspended right now, and I think what you do is you let the legal course take its course, and but right now he's suspended, so that's just where we're sitting right now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you worry about a divide at all? Maybe that his leash might be a little longer than anyone else's.
Not really. Everyone on the team knows that if it comes out that you touch a girl, you're off the team. Period. That goes for any individual on the team. So.
What's been the team's reaction since they've known about it?
To be honest with you, again, yesterday was a Monday, you know, so I saw some of the guys walking down the hall. Some guys came and talked to me, but as far as the whole team, I couldn't honestly give you that answer.
Did Matt talk to you?
I always talk to Matt. Matt comes in, he always stops by, and you always see the quarterbacks on Monday because they come out and watch film on their own. But you know, it's just something that we can't have it as a distraction. You know, we got to move forward. We got to get ready to play this game.
You mentioned the zero tolerance there. Why does maybe domestic violence hold more weight than stuff like DUIs or thefts?
That's been my stand. You know, maybe I have 3 sisters and a mom and 2 daughters. That's from day one. That's what I've told the team. So to me, it's a lot bigger deal.
Okay.
All right, thank you
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.